Okay, so in between clips, we've gone in and we've tidied up the gradients that were actually, unfortunately, detached from the main group shape. We've blended them in so it's almost seamless. A few things in regards to the gradient annotator. Just looking at the whole gradient, as we have it now, this angle is quite dark at this area here. If we look at the reference photo, it's slightly lighter. So we need to put an angle on it. That's the way we'll tackle that to make it more accurate to the reference we have here. First things first, I'm literally just going to press Command A. Press Command A so we select everything, and remember we have some individual shapes, and what we're going to do is hit the gradient annotator. Now we see we've got different gradients there, just symbolizing the different shapes. We want to ultimately edit the mass shape, and then we'll just go back and make the minor tweaks to the ones that are surrounding as we did before. So what we shall do is go Object, and we're just going to go Ungroup. So now we see we've got the big gradient annotation for the main shape that we have. We're just going to click that shape and then click back onto the gradient annotator. And we're literally just going to put an angle on it. So wait till we get that circular shape there, that just circle with the arrow, just symbolizing that we're going to put an angle. Okay, so we're going to put angle to around, I'm just going to type it in at this point, 38 degrees. Okay, we see it like so. Okay, and we can see at that point it's a lot lighter now in cohesion to what we want. The cool thing about the gradient annotator is you can just move it. So we might just move it a little tad. Okay, I'm not sure if we're going to have it rotate so much. Just have it maybe start from here. Okay, and then again, just check back on the reference image. Literally, what I'm going to do is just pull the middle toggle to the right slightly. Okay, and what we shall do in between clips is go ahead and just make sure that the outside gradients, they blend in with it using the techniques that we've been using. Okay, so what we shall do now for the rest of this clip is have a look at drawing the dark and darkest contours. Okay, so we're just going to lock the medium skin contour base layer, and we're going to create a new layer and call it dark skin contours. Okay, so we got our dark skin contours layer. Again, it's always just good to have a look at the reference and just assess everything. Just want to make a few minor tweaks actually to the medium skin contours here. Just make sure the angle is right. It's a little bit tricky. Let's bring this over slightly, like so. Maybe just change the angle, bring it over. That's it, it's okay for it. So if we replicate this, an angle of around 31.7, we can see the positioning as is. Just bring that up a little bit just to adhere to that. So we got the light at the top. Okay, before we go on. Alright, so now let's go back onto the dark skin contours. Having a look, when we want to draw the dark skin contours, looking out for these areas around here. Those deeper contours. We're looking for these areas around here, those deeper contours. So if we look at the base, we also look at sort of the right side, and it might be a slight jump. Now obviously we're going to change our labeling. Just click on and click away. And for example, let's look at this area here. So we just click right here, and then we're going to do a blend. Okay, so got that color here. We've got a color of R79, G138, and B21. We're literally just going to drag that and drop, and we're going to call that dark skin contour 1. Let's double click on it. Alright, so we got our dark skin contour 1. Let's just zoom in a little bit, grab the pen tool, let's click onto there. Okay, zoom in slightly a little bit more. Okay, I'm going to put my opacity down to 0. Literally just going to draw in again that shape. Again, we're being more disciplined to look out for the dark skin contours. Okay. And there. What we have is we're looking to create sort of like a painterly, realistic vector look. Again, just administering those dark skin contours. Okay, and going around. So we're not drawing, probably drawing a less in regards to the actual amount and the size as the medium skin contours. We're just being disciplined to get the darker areas in again. So we'll just go around like so. We can maybe weave around that circle there, even though we're going to come in and do the detail afterwards. Okay. And then literally just complete our shape around about there. Okay. And then we're going to put our opacity up to 100. Just have a zoom out and then turn on the medium contours. So we just want that to blend in a little bit. Obviously we've got a good basis. Okay, so how we're going to do that is just select it. So we've got our dark skin contours. We've got a gradient here. We're just going to put the new dark skin contours to the side. Okay, we're going to have the medium skin contour base. Okay, now we're going to change it to radial. We can see it gets darker in the middle and lighter on the outside. We're going to come in quite a lot. Just basically just want the outside just to be a little bit lighter. Okay. Alright, and then we just zoom in, zoom out. So literally again, we're just going to pull it out a little bit more. We want it to be a bit darker on the outside. We can just look at our gradient itself and look at the shaping of it. So we just zoom in and just pull it out as such. Okay, and maybe rotate it. So we've got that dark color right slap more in the middle, and just elongate it like so, and just to give us a more accurate blend. And another cool trick, if your outside's a little bit too sharp on outside and you want it faded more, then we'll come on to the location and we'll just get the opacity and we'll put that down to say 70, and say it just fades in. Okay, and that's a technique. So basically that's what we'll do. As it's going to get progressively darker as we go from right to left. Okay, and again I'll just click away there, and if we have a look, if we just click here, we can see that we've got a darker shape there. Now obviously this is a very small area, but is what we'll do in a whole for the medium and dark skin contours. So we're just going to get the eyedropper again. Okay, we're going to register this color. We're going to drag it over to the swatches palette, double click on it and call it dark skin contour 1. Okay, just take a note of the measurements: R67, G123 and B5. Okay, and literally we're just gonna go on the edge, and what we're doing is creating that extra base and detail. Put our opacity down to 0, zoom in with it, put our opacity down to 0. Okay, and then literally just draw those in. Okay, and that's the principle right there. Put our opacity up, and we're going to draw, just for example, this shape here also. Okay, now let's turn back on the opacity, and we can see that we got the dark skin contours in there as well. So we'll just turn off the base for a second. Right, so again we're going to use the same technique to do the blending. But what we shall do is, again, we're going to get a gradient. All right, and we're just going to, we can use the gradient we've already got. Make sure that your location opacity is up, because we know that was blended with the dark skin contours. Okay, yeah, just a bit of mislabel, so we'll just call it the darkest. Yes, we just call this one the darkest skin contours. Okay, apologies. So we got the darkest skin contours. Okay, we'll just get that gradient again. Make sure the darkest skin contours to the side, the dark skin contours. Okay, now we may need to do these one by one, and again it's a point of clicking and dragging and pulling out and getting that blend, like we say. And then if we just need to soften the outside exteriors, we'll get the gradient annotate and just reposition it. Let's zoom in nice and tight so we can see what's happening. That is one of the great advantages of using Adobe's gradient annotator. Really enables us to get a lot more control. Okay, and we'll just bring the opacity on the edge to around 80. We can see we've got a nice blend in there. Okay, and if you're happy with the blend, or if you want to bring down the opacity of the whole shape itself, we can just put the opacity of the shape down to around 80 if necessary. Just get a gradient slider there. All right, and then literally we'll just come back in, zoom in, we'll grab this shape and we'll just use the eyedropper tool and just duplicate that, because it'll be more or less perfect for what we want. Ultimately, that's how we're going to finish the dark and darkest skin contours. So in between clips, what we're going to do is just finish those off using these blending techniques. Remember that we're going to get progressively darker from right to left, and sort of beware of the middle section here. We might need a shadow area for that section, but just follow the same techniques and increase the darkness there.